Get ready for some of the toughest gaming that the early 90s had to offer. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today I'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest SNES games. For this list, we're not interested in games that are hard due to bad programming, horrible level design, or buggy controls. We're looking at titles that are intentionally challenging and totally worth playing till the end, if you can. Number 10, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. This game didn't get the attention it deserved upon its release, but it has since gone on to become a cult classic. It's like a B-horror film translated into a run-and-gun video game, complete with its wacky over-the-top stages like Warehouse of Evil Dolls and the oh-so-punny Fish and Crypts. It also succeeds in preserving the heart of any good horror flick, in that it's really tough to survive. It's hard enough saving your own skin, but attempting to rescue your many helpless neighbors seriously ups the difficulty level. 48 levels of gore plus bonus stages will keep you plenty busy. Number 9, Prince of Persia. Newbies to this game struggle to clear the first 3 obstacles, let alone the many more spike-filled pits standing between them and the princess. This was the start of a long-running successful franchise, and it began with a steep learning curve. First released on the Apple II computer, Prince of Persia won multiple awards for its impressive design and animation work, but it's been called equal parts brilliant and infuriating. Level-specific time limits are one thing, but when you're given just 2 hours to complete an entire game, you really never have time to think. Nothing is simple in this platformer, as you navigate staggeringly complex levels riddled with traps, switch-controlled doors, and nearly impossible jumps. Number 8, Battletoads in Battlemaniacs. What this franchise lacked in original character design, can you say Ninja Turtles, it more than made up for in exceedingly tough yet wildly fun gameplay. Thankfully, the difficulty level in Battlemaniacs was substantially lower than that of its original NES predecessor, but that game was nearly impossible to beat anyway, so it's not really saying much. Each level in Battlemaniacs presents a unique style of gameplay, ranging from your standard side-scrolling beat-em-up to punishingly tough high-speed racing levels or snake riding. Yeah, you heard that correctly. In the Karnath's Revenge stage, you have to balance and hold on for dear life as a massive snake winds up the level. It's as tough as it sounds. Number 7, Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Conquest. When this game first came out, it meant reassembling the team of neighborhood friends who helped you beat the first Donkey Kong Country. Hopefully some new kids had moved in on the block with some serious skills, because Diddy's quest made DK's original adventure look easy. What made it so tough? Well, there's the likeliness of accidentally bouncing off an enemy into one of the very many pits, lots of chances of getting barrel blasted into enemies, and a lot of late game levels that are brutally challenging. Those level designers at Rare sure didn't pull any punches in this consistently challenging sequel. Number 6, Earthworm Jim 2. Earthworms lead hard lives, hiding from hungry birds, avoiding death by hot concrete after a rainstorm, or, fighting the forces of evil in their battle suits to save Princess What's-Her-Name. Both the original Earthworm Jim and this sequel nailed the balance between challenging platforming and unique, entertaining level design. But Earthworm Jim 2 introduced other gameplay elements into the mix. This constant switch-up of gameplay, while very difficult, kept the experience fresh and exciting. For example, the Village People stage takes away Jim's weapons, forcing players to navigate him through a series of explosive obstacles. And that final obstacle course with Psychro? Brutal! Number 5, ActRaiser. This was a unique game in that it bounced players back and forth between side-scrolling platforming action and city-building simulator. Oddly enough, the combination works, thanks to the fact that the developers seemingly put equal effort into both modes. Not only are both well designed, but challenging. Each area of the game contains 2 side-scrolling levels, which, although not punishingly difficult, are far from easy, especially the bosses or lieutenants. The simulation is satisfyingly nuanced, and we guarantee you that your growing civilizations will flounder a few times before you get the hang of the various mechanics. Ultimately, the challenge of ActRaiser lies in the fact that it forces players to master multiple gameplay modes, an uncommon and complex challenge on the SNES. Number 4. Castlevania Dracula X. This franchise clearly prides itself on producing consistently difficult games, and this particular entry is one of the toughest, arguably second only to Castlevania 3 on the NES. As with all Castlevania games, it's extremely hard, but fair. Actually the jury's still out on that fair part, but whatever. Enemies seem faster than your character Richter Belmont, so you have to perfect your timing with the limited movements at your disposal. Mastering the evasive backflip maneuver is crucial to your survival, as is the timing of your attacks with the whip and sub-weapons. Dracula X levels are all about excess. Too many enemies, too many traps, and too many spiked platforms hitting you in quick succession, ensuring that if and when you reach the final boss, you're going to be seriously drained of your health. Number 3. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You know what's tougher than fighting your way through hordes of demon spawn? Doing it twice. As the knight Arthur, you're charged with rescuing the princess from Emperor Sardius. But after facing staggering obstacles to reach his castle, you discover that the only weapon capable of beating him, the goddess bracelet, was hidden at the beginning of the game. So, back to square one. Our hero is also a bit of a frail one. Despite the upgradable armor and shield, a single body hit from an enemy will leave you fighting in your boxer shorts, and with a second hit, you're dead. Offering some of the most well-designed platforming ever to grace the SNES, this game is as respected as it is tough. Number 2. Contra III: The Alien Wars. It's a simple fact of gaming, on any console, that if you've got a Contra title available, it's going to be more hectic, overwhelming run-and-gun fun than you can probably handle. Also, it's going to be insanely tough. Speedruns for this game should come with seizure warnings. For the uninitiated, we recommend playing the easy setting. It will more than challenge you, don't worry. And if you survive, normal and hard introduce new boss attacks, alternate attack patterns, and even upgraded forms. Yeesh. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Super Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Just like it was probably the toughest time for the Rebellion, the events of The Empire Strikes Back make for a harrowing experience for gamers as well. When Super Star Wars came out in 1992, it was met with critical acclaim, although some fans criticized it for being too hard. Well, the sequel only got tougher.
All too easy.
Taking control of Luke, Chewbacca, and Han Solo has never been more fun or frustrating. Honestly, it's hard not to feel like the characters had an easier time in the movie, and one of those characters got tortured and frozen. Plus, considering that the game drops you straight in the middle of a hostile setting, the learning curve isn't just steep, it's basically a vertical line. But then again, Mode 7 graphics made for a pretty slick-looking Battle of Hoth. Do you agree with our list? What's the most challenging Super Nintendo game you've ever played? For more memorable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
That is why they